nobody wins when the family feels.
And, well, actually, last year she filed a restraining order on him. Actually, a year from the date, July the 18th. And he was found in violation of the restraining order. So that's why we're here today.
A woman in July apparently led to a brawl between two family members outside of the Hinds County Courthouse today. 12 News' Jalen Anderson joins us now with more details on the chaos. Jalen, what happened?
Latasha Crump-Coleman has been missing since July 19th, and family members believe Coleman's husband knows something about it.
We're also following breaking news. Home. Jackson police are investigating after two separate shootings, one of them deadly. Now that shooting happened this afternoon right before 3 at the Shell gas station on the intersection of McDowell Road and Suncrest Drive. 2 people are dead and 3 others were hurt. They were all taken to the hospital. We haven't gotten an update on their condition. Now, there are no suspects at this time, but police are looking for a certain vehicle, a 4-door black sedan. Police say the shooter shot from the rear passenger seat.
You take a life off this earth. You took 100 people with you, family, friends, and loved ones. You got all them to deal with. And we all know everybody don't think the same. So when you feel like you put your faith in the Justice Department, and you feel like they failed you. And some people gonna want to take matters in their own hands. And before we continue, don't get it twisted. It may not be them. It just might be the person you believe in giving you karma. But at that point, who really care? But fam, that's really the story we got today. A young woman who went missing for over a year. And the only person of interest was gunned down a year later. And to get deep, he was only home for 3 weeks since being released from prison. Of course, we'll later discuss. But here's the thing. Over the last month since this woman been missing, her family been going to social media to call out the local police department. Now this family even hired a private investigator. And like they say, revenge come in different ways, shapes, and forms. So I won't directly say the family had revenge, cause the police did. But I will say this, family are smart. This man wasn't robbed. He was pointed out only 3 weeks after he was released from prison. As mentioned, we'll later discuss. And he was shot broad daylight. So today, we show love and respect to this family as we identify this missing mom of 4. We also talk about her husband, his response to all this while he was in jail, and how he was recently gunned down. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Fam, meet Latasha Coleman Crump, 46 years old. And she was also a correctional officer. Back in July 2023, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations had issued a silver alert for the 46-year-old. This happened in Jackson, Mississippi, Hinds County. Coleman was described as a black female, 5'5", weighing at about 180 pounds. She had black braids and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing black cut-up jeans and a black shirt. The last time Coleman was physically seen was a Tuesday, July 18, 2023. It was around 7:30 p.m. This was in Hinds County. She was driving her 2002 gray Acura MDX with Mississippi tags, HPA 8639, traveling in an unknown direction.
Mississippi Bureau of Investigations has since issued a silver alert for 46-year-old Latasha Crump-Coleman. 3 News Side's Chris Fields speaks with Coleman's 2 brothers who say they desperately want their sister back home. Chris?
That's right, Howard. Coleman's brothers are heartbroken and concerned tonight and say time is of the essence to find their sister. They spoke with her last week on the phone, just last week. They say she has a son who needs her and an entire family who wants her back home safely.
Her son is missing her right now. Her siblings are missing her right now. We have parents that are missing their daughter.
Heartfelt emotions pouring out from both Cedric Crump and Maurice Rose, the brothers of Latasha Crump-Coleman. They are still trying to wrap their heads around the fact that their sister hasn't come home.
We are very sociable. She is always on Facebook. She's always returning calls, even if she doesn't pick up at the first sign, and she has not done any of that.
According to MBI, the 46-year-old was last seen on Hidden Valley Lane around 7:30 p.m. last Tuesday. She was wearing black cut jeans and a black shirt. Coleman was believed to be in a 2002 gray Acura MDX bearing the state tag HPA 8639. Her brothers say this is not like their sister to be gone days at a time away from her child and her family. With information they cannot share at this time, they suspect foul play may be involved.
We feel that she is somewhere against her will. She has been abducted, kidnapped, and this is not just a regular missing person, like she's gone on her own. She has left things that a normal person wouldn't just leave.
Today is our sister. Yesterday it was somebody else's.
The family is now pleading with the public to help find her.
Even if it seems minute, just get it to the ones that it is necessary so we can get our loved one back.
Now all the focus shifts to her estranged husband. It seemed he ended up going to jail after violating a court order restraining order to not be around her. But still, he wouldn't say where Coleman was at, which grew frustration for her family. Her husband was identified as Derrick Coleman, 48 years old. But he didn't get sentenced till December. And at that time, while in the court building, the family get into a brawl. Now I can't show it due to YouTube guidelines, but if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the bio.
It's leading up to a missing, actually last year she filed a restraining order on him. Actually a year from the date, July the 18th. And he was found in violation of the restraining order. So that's why we're here today. Well, the problem I have is they left it up to him to get the ankle monitor, which he never got it. So we want to know who's going to be held accountable for him not getting the ankle monitor. Because, I mean, if they tell you to go get an ankle monitor, I wouldn't go get it.
Now, a month after Derrick Coleman was arrested, it was a new year, January of 2024. But it was 7 months since his wife was last heard from and seen by her family. And at this point, Latasha family have a Facebook account that's dedicated to help finding her. And in January of 2024, on the first week, they went to that Facebook account to make some bold claims against the Jackson Police Department. Jackson, Mississippi, there has been corruption in the disappearance of Latasha Crump. We are asking the community to help launch an investigation into the Jackson Police Department. Our silence has hindered the process to find Latasha Crump. We have contacted the chain of command, and nothing has been done. A month ago, we received information that Derrick Coleman had a family member who will remain anonymous to hand-deliver audio to the court in reference of Commander Abraham Thomas of the Jackson Police Department, giving valuable evidence from Latasha's file to Derrick Coleman about her disappearance. The two had been communicating and have a relationship, along with Judge McDaniel, who would have released Derrick Coleman had the media not been present. We was informed the tape was on Chief Wade's desk, and we haven't heard anything else back from Detective Jordan or Chief Wade. This is major because Commander Abraham Thompson is all over investigative services. After this video, they did move him, but that's not enough. Please help us contact the Department of Justice, FBI, and City of Jackson to urge a venue change. Commander Abraham Thompson, Detective Sharon Jordan, Chief Joseph Wade, the list is longer, and we are ready to bring awareness. Listen to the video below and share to hashtag Bring Latasha Home, hashtag Find Latasha Crump, hashtag Where Latasha Crump.
Come here.
Can you give me the number to 430?
Come here, honey. Just not on your phone, and you call this person. And you let them know if they take me to jail. You hear me?
All right.
906 4335.
All right.
You make sure you do that, okay?
Okay.
Tell them.
As you can see, fam, those were some bold statements towards the judge and the entire police department. Nonetheless, nothing changed about the investigation. A whole year will go by since Latasha Crump will last see her family, and a family member will go to this Facebook account once again on her 1-year anniversary since she last been seen to make the following statement. Jackson Police Department really have went a year without questioning Latasha's husband about his whereabouts the night of her disappearance. Now, if they need us to supply the call logs we received from her phone company through our private investigator, we can supply them. Because why else would he be calling her repeatedly, then stop and never call again? It don't take a rocket scientist. But just 4 days after that post, and 3 weeks since Derrick Coleman been released from serving his 6 months for violating his court order, it seemed the family will go to Facebook and make this message. Yes, I heard. It's already too much. Just please give me a break. The detectives called me, but I'm still searching for my mom. That's my only agenda. That's because they got the call. 4 days after the 1-year anniversary of Latasha's demise, Derrick Coleman was gunned down. at a local gas station, broad daylight, having someone write on a Facebook account once again, will I ever find my mom? This can't be happening. Find Latasha Crump-Coleman.
Accused of being linked to a missing persons case. Jackson. Through Your Side's Quentin Smith joins us live to tell you about that.
That's right, Morgan. Derrick Coleman. If that name sounds familiar to you, well, that's because he's the husband of Latasha Crump-Coleman. You may remember she's the Jackson woman who's been missing for more than a year now. So at this time, investigators do not believe her family members are connected to this crime, but police are collecting evidence and going through surveillance video, trying to track down the shooter or shooters responsible for killing Coleman.
We do have information that an individual drove up in a black sedan, let down the rear window, and opened fire on all of these people in that parking lot.
And one of the people killed is this man, 48-year-old Derrick Coleman. He's seen here in a courtroom back in December. He was in court because he was found guilty of violating a no-contact order against his wife, Latasha Crump-Coleman. She disappeared just over a year ago and has not been seen or heard from ever since. Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade says at this time the investigation does not lead him to believe that the family of Latasha Crump-Coleman is connected to this killing.
I do not know if he was the intended target. I don't know who even did the shooting. We're looking at every angle of this incident. We're not going to leave a stone unturned.
When it comes to Coleman and his wife, her family members believe Coleman had information about what happened to her. However, police could not make that connection. The conflict between the two families dates back to 2022. On July 25th of that year, Coleman was found guilty of violating a no-contact order related to several domestic violence charges filed by his wife. The 48-year-old was then sentenced to serve 6 months in jail. Nearly a year later, on July 18th, 2023, that's when Latasha Crump-Coleman went missing. On December 7th of that same year, both families then got into a fight after Coleman made a court appearance in Hinds County. This year, on June 28th, Coleman was released from jail on bond. Less than a month later, on July 21st, he was shot and killed. Chief Wade says they were actually planning to speak with Coleman about his wife's disappearance prior to this fatal shooting.
We look forward to speaking with him again and gleaning more additional information to try to locate Ms. Crump-Coleman, because we know the pain and suffering that her family has been experiencing. With him losing his life, is going to make it just that harder, or much harder for us to solve that case, but we're going to continue to work to bring her home.
Now, Coleman was only out of jail for less than a month before he was shot and killed. Right now, Chief Wade says they do not have a suspect or person of interest in Coleman's death. If you have any information on this killing, you're asked to contact the Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. And remember, you can report anonymously. Reporting live from outside.
Now, at this point, a lot of people want to believe that Latasha family has something to do with it, but we don't know that for a fact. But her family did come out and say this. Let me be clear. Tasha family had nothing to do with the demise of her husband. Understand y'all like mess, but don't lie like that. It's enough going on. Now, this is an unfortunate situation. As we wrap this video up, we do want to send prayers to Latasha family, and we pray that you guys get to discover her body in the near future. Fam, this was the story of a Mississippi man who was gunned down only 3 weeks after being released from prison. Only 4 days after the year anniversary of his wife last being seen. Now, would the family ever have answers? We all know by now, revenge come in different ways. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.